My freedom from a cheating wife. Let me begin by saying that the first few years of my marriage went surprisingly well.
I met my wife, Sarah, back in high school in Los Angeles, California.
We were in the same math class. She was a freshman. I was a sophomore. We dated for a few months. Then broke up like most teenage relationships do. But somehow, life brought us back together. Fast forward to my senior year. I graduated and enlisted in the military. 2 years later, Sarah messaged me on Facebook. At first, it was just small talk.
Catching up. Nostalgia.
But within a couple of months, she flew out to visit me at Fort Bragg,
North Carolina. And just like that, the spark reignited.
For months later, she was pregnant with our first child. We got married shortly after. It felt like a dream. We were building something real. A family. A future. At least, that is what I believed. I still remember the first shock clearly. I had just come back from a month-long field operation. The dust of deployment still on my boots. One of my closest friends in the unit pulled me aside and told me something that broke me. He said Sarah had cheated. While I was away, she hooked up with another guy we both knew.
A fellow soldier.
We had been staying with another military couple near base. They often hosted get-togethers. Drinks, music, laughter. And somewhere in that mess, it happened.
I confronted her. She denied everything.
Said my friend was lying. That he was jealous. Trying to ruin our marriage.
And like a fool.
I believed her. I was only 20. Naive. I wanted to believe. So I cut off that friend. Not knowing the real betrayal was already living in my home. I kept going. We had a kid. I finished my military service honorably. We moved back to Phoenix,
Arizona.
I got my first civilian job. Everything seemed okay for a while. But in 2015, cracks started to show. We argued more. I brushed it off. Assumed it was normal. Every marriage hits rough patches, right? One night she went out drinking with her friend Amanda. And did not come home. The next morning, I playfully snatched her phone while she was texting. And what I saw made my heart stop. She was texting Amanda about the night before. Apparently, Amanda's boyfriend had a friend over. Sarah ended up hooking up with him. It was all there between the lines. That was betrayal number 2. She cried. Begged me not to leave. Said it was a mistake. That it would never happen again.
And once again.
I stayed.
Because of the keys.
Because I still believed I could fix us. Time passed. We posed for family photos. Went to school meetings. Had holiday dinners. But inside, I was crumbling.
In 2022.
She started working night shifts at a hospital. I thought it was great. She wanted to help with bills. I supported it. But almost instantly, she changed. She grew distant.
Engrillé.
Cold. She insulted me constantly. Called me names. There was no intimacy left. We shared a bed, but felt miles apart. Then came Snapchat.
I cocktail messaging à coworker.
When I asked, she said he was gay. So it was okay.
Juste africain.
But my gut told me otherwise.
The secrecy. The loctaire behind the screen.
The changed passwords. I did not have proof. But after all those years, I knew. Still I stayed. Why?
Because of the keys. Because of duty.
I built myself a prison of responsibility. And threw away the key. I thought I was being noble. But I was not. I was teaching my kids that love meant pain. That silence meant strength. That a man should endure disrespect for the sake of appearances. And that was my breaking point.
One night,
I finally saw the truth. The guy was not gay. He was flirting with multiple women. Sarah included. I found their chats.
Arts.
Nicknames. Plans to meet. I asked her. She laughed. Said I was paranoid. That night, I did not yell. Didn't cry. I just looked at her and knew. I did not love her anymore. I did not even recognize her. So at 35, I filed for divorce. And walked away. The moment I signed those papers, I felt lighter than I had in years. Like I could finally breathe. Like I was free.
Free from the lies. Free from the manipulation.
Free from the slow emotional death I had lived with for far too long. In the weeks after,
He started living again.
I went to the gym, hiked the Arizona trails, read books, reconnected with old friends, laughed. I also found Reddit. And through it, people who understood. People who had been through it. Who gave me words I did not know I needed. And through them,
He realised the hard truth.
Sarah was a narcissist.
A master manipulator.
She was never going to change.
Looking back,
I can't believe I stayed that long. I gave everything to someone who only took. But you know what? I am still in my 30s. I am still breathing.
he still have time.
This story, my story, is for anyone stuck in a toxic relationship, thinking it is too late, thinking you have to stay for the kids, thinking it will get better if you just love harder.
Let me tell you this.
They won't change. They will lie,
Cry. Beg.
promise, gaslight,
And repeat it all again. Not because you are not enough.
but because they are broken in ways you can't fix. So please,
Don't waste another year. Take your life back.
be the parent your kids can be proud of. Not for staying, but for having the strength to leave. And maybe, one day,
Someone real will find you. Someone loyal.
someone kind.
Someone who respect your heart.
And with them, you will finally write the happy ending you deserve.